situation, you can poll them or get their vote by email. And put those that don't respond are considered a yes vote. That makes it easy on everybody. So if the chair and the two vice presidents want something to happen and they propose it, and nobody responds, okay, you assume that it was a good idea. Otherwise, you vote no. That gets you through those special moments. Core members, sometimes there are emails or information you want to share, not with the whole executive committee. You just want to ask 2 or 3 or 4 people. It's a financial issue. So you just want to send it to the core members of finance or consult them about something. So that's called the core members of the executive committee. I was taught that with the executive committee, I need to be completely honest, which means I will be 99% honest. Okay? Of course, with the chairman, I would have to be completely honest, and the vice chair. And one of the roles of the executive committee is to protect, in our case, since I'm the founder, to protect me. Because if I go, you know, the organization will go. Because there are coups d'etats, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on. Any comment on that? I work hard. Okay, this is my last slide, and then Javier will talk about the meeting agenda. So there are 2 of these. This is where I would like your input. Stories of groups here in North Texas, the real life situation. How do you fire a dangerous employee? Especially if you're a female and he's an ex-Marine. You know, how do you do this? That's what your executive committee's there for. You need to be able to call upon the executive committee to help. Have a couple of men there. Same thing, the right answer to removing the chair was you send these important members of the executive committee to talk to the chairman who, for whatever reason, has not been fulfilling his responsibility. What if a board member, would they ever steal anything? Of course not. Okay. So what do you do? Has anybody heard of any situation like this? In this organization that we're thinking of, past president, things are missing. Does that ever happen? Sure. Those are real concrete items. Does money ever go missing? In one of our major organizations here, $31,000 disappeared last month. Okay. What about intellectual property? What would that be?
Computers, private information.
Private information. Okay.
Shut down the computer system.
Stealing the computer system. In one of our local communities, the president didn't like that the vice president was elected president. He wanted to remain as president. He stole the website. He wouldn't give him the password. And he stole the email list. That's intellectual property. Okay? We had a board member who stole our first guide. He stole it. And he wanted to publish it under his own name so he could get funding. He put it on his website as his own product. These things happen. We had a board member who stole the project name and the contents of the project and registered it as his own as a nonprofit. So these things happen. This one is it's a saga. You know, I get the emails every day. What's going to happen? Okay, this is the one I mentioned. Yes.
Does that mean that you have to insure some of your people that are on your board?
There's something called board insurance. But that's more. Can you explain what that is? Do you?
That is where the liability isn't as great. I worked with a 19-member board one time, and they had let their board membership lapse, and then they started fighting amongst themselves, and it was very scary. And money was involved, and promises were involved. So that the liability up to a certain extent would cover that board.
So what if you do something and you get sued, if the board gets
something really happened. This one was the secretary of the board of the Pacific Maritime Union in San Francisco. She was in that position for 8 years. And they find out that she stole from the organization $450,000 in those 8 years. But because they had a bond on her, she went to jail for 5 or 6 years. And that bond company gives the organization $450,000. Okay? That's why anybody with money, who cares? Bond it. Put a bond on it and pay for it because that's money well spent.
And the sad story of one local group that didn't register as a corporation, you know, and so time caught up with them. Next slide. This is my last slide. So any stories that you want to share, these are pitfalls. Let's learn from each other's mistakes. Invasion of meetings. Oh, some people here are smiling. Okay, we held a meeting a couple months ago, and a very prominent judge walked into the meeting and sat down, and before we got started, she called me a racist. Okay, and obviously her goal was to stop the progress of this new project. Okay, and we know of what's hit the news about one of our major local institutions that is repeatedly invaded in a sort of coup d'etat. At least that's the way it's reported, of people that want to take over. Refusal to hand over the website, you mentioned that. Materials, sex. Sex on the board. A couple years ago, a very, very famous international figure spoke here for a major institution. The chairman of the board was making the presentations, and I looked at this woman and I thought, how in the world is she acting at such a high level of diplomacy when it was insulting, you know? And then somebody told me, well, she was the girlfriend of so-and-so who this and that, you know? So these things happen. It also happens with employees who want to ensure their job. Okay? Something's going on with board members. So, you know, be aware that we're all human beings and these things do happen. Misleading financial reports, the finest, in my book, Latino, I would promise myself I wouldn't say the ethnic name, social service agency. Apparently, it seems when one of the previous directors left, the board thought they had 6 to 9 months of funds on hand, and there was none. Where did it go? You know? The treasurer obviously wasn't checking the reports that the director made. And then there's founder syndrome. One of our local nonprofits was founded by a very, very wealthy man, and he's getting old, and he's really, you know, he's not the person that he used to be. And the decisions are really questioned by everyone, and they just found that they are in the hole hundreds of thousands of dollars and have to let most of the staff go. You know? So is there anything else that you all have heard of just examples of what can happen if you don't follow procedures, or how you can make procedures stronger without still giving flexibility to the group? Because all groups are different. You know, the system has to be adjusted to help the group be successful.
How do you guys handle invasion? What's a technique people use?
I was prepared for that invasion. I thought it would be another person, you know, who I thought it would be. But that person didn't show up. And we were lucky. She just said her thing and left. But that's why you have an executive committee. That's why you have strong board members there, so that they can step up and say to this person, whatever, this is not the time, you know. Working as a team, you address things.
And we come in also the